Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while since I made my last video, but today we are gonna actually go ahead and continue with our um, course. So we're gonna start again with Linux. So I'm gonna show you how to access Linux, but before that, I'm gonna explain a little bit about cloud. So cloud is not a difficult concept to understand. It's basically somebody else's computer. So you upload your pictures on Google Photos, right? Or you upload it on iCloud. So you might be thinking, what is this cloud? So cloud is basically Apple's servers, right? So you are just uploading your pictures to Apple's servers and they're stored on Apple's servers until you retrieve them again. So when you say you deleted the picture from your phone but you have it on the cloud, so you can always download it again from the cloud, so that way you can always access it. Okay, so what what are those servers like? What do they look like? So those servers are essentially like any other computer. They run an OS. They have a CPU on them. They have a memory on it. They may or may not have a graphics card, because it depends on the purpose of the server. But today, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to actually make your own server on the cloud. Okay, so we're gonna make our own Linux server on the AWS cloud. So what is AWS? AWS is basically a cloud service provided by Amazon. Like you put your pictures on the cloud using iCloud, right? In the same way, if you have an application that you want it to run all the time, okay, so say you have a website, right? Now you want your website to be accessible at all times, correct? So what you will do, you can't keep a computer like or your personal server running all the time, right? Instead, what you can do is you can rent a server from Amazon, put your website on it, and Amazon will make sure that your website is always up and running on their servers. Okay, so when you put your website onto the server, it will give you a IP address that you can use to connect directly to your website, um, or you can purchase a domain name like amazon.com and attach it to the IP address, so that way anytime you search for amazon.com, it will redirect you to the IP address of the server where your website is running, right? Okay, so I'm going to give you an overview of AWS. I'll give you a little walk around and I'll show you what it looks like and how to get started, correct? Okay, so to access the AWS system, you want to go to aws.amazon.com/console, and then you have to sign into your account. Okay, so now when you sign in, I'm already signed in, so I'm just gonna sign out for a second. Okay, because I want to show you something. Okay, so when you sign in, there are two ways to sign in. One, you can sign into your root account, or you can sign into your IAM account. Okay, so what is the difference between a root account and an IAM account? A root account is an account that basically has access to everything. It can access the billing, it can access the database, it can basically it has the admin rights, so it can access everything on the AWS console. On the other hand, IAM user is created by the root user, okay, and you can decide what access you want to give to that particular user. Say I have my own company, right? And say I own Facebook. Now I don't want all of my employees to be able to access the database or to be able to access the internal documents and stuff, right? So what I'll do is I'll make an IAM user and I'll restrict the usage or the access for each user, so that way they cannot access everything. Okay, but when you're making your new account for the first time on Amazon, you want to create a root account. So when you create a root account, you have to basically use your email address and your password. I'm just going to sign in for now, and I'll just give you a walk around through the console, and then we'll maybe continue with Linux on with after in the next video probably, because it's going to take a little bit of time to just walk you around the website. So okay, we are just going to sign in first. Okay, so we are signed in, right? Now here it says US North Virginia, and it shows a lot of different regions here. Okay, so there's a Virginia, Ohio, California, Mumbai, Osaka, Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo, Canada. Okay, so these are all regions where AWS has their servers, right? We're going to choose the closest one to us. Okay, so the closest one to us is the North Virginia one, which is the US East one. So we're gonna stay on there. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you some of the most important services. We'll not go through all of them, but I'll just give you a walk around of the some of the most important services. So the most important service for us right now is EC2. EC2 is the Elastic Compute Cloud. That is the main service that we're going to use. Okay, so that basically allows us to make our own computer on the cloud. Okay, so you can use that computer to get into to access your services where you can actually set up your websites and do all kinds of things. You can set up an automation on it that you want to run every day. Um, okay, so I'm going to show you how to set up your first server onto the cloud. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click on launch instance. We're just going to name it a demo server. Okay, and then this is the OS. So what kind of OS do we want to run on our server? Right, so you have a lot of options. You can use Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, Debian. It depends on what is your use case, right? For now, we're gonna just use the Linux one, the Amazon Linux, because it's a free tier, eligible, and we can use it for free. Okay, but you can use Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows as per your choice. Okay, for instance type, we have a lot of different instance types, which for each use case. So you can select something that has higher threshold, something that has a higher compute, something that has a higher memory, but it really depends on your use case, right? So for now, we're just going to use the T2 Micro one because that is a great one to get started, and it is free tier eligible. Okay. Now this is the key pair. Key pair is a very essential piece of information because that is used to actually get into your EC2 instance. That is a key pair that you need to authorize yourself to be able to access the server. Okay, so you can create a new key pair if you don't have one, but you can just, I have one, so I'm just going to select this for now. Okay, next up is the network setting. Okay, so here is basically how you can tell the system who do you want to have access, or how do you want to have somebody to access your server. Do you want them to be able to SSH into your server, connected through HTTPS, HTTP? Like, do you want them to access your server through the internet or not? Okay, so you can select those options here. Okay, next up here is how do you want, like what kind of storage you want. You can select 8 GB, 50 GB, 60 GB as per your use case. For now, you're just gonna use 8 GB. Okay, but there's different types of storages available. You can choose as per your use case, but for now we're just gonna keep it as is. Okay, and okay, so I can see the issue here. It says auto assign public IP is disabled. That means it is not automatically assigning the IP address to our server. We're just gonna enable that, and next step is we're gonna go ahead and launch our instance. Okay, so this will create our instance and we can start using it. We'll go back to instances. It says it's in pending. We'll wait for it to say running, and then we'll get into our server and I'll show you how to access it. Okay, so you just gotta select the server, and then you have a lot of options here on how to connect. Okay, so we want to connect. So the first option is the EC2 instance connect. So that basically allows you to access your server directly from the browser. But if you want to access it from your computer instead of the browser, you can install applications like PuTTY or Mobile Xterm, or you can download the AWS CLI and connect through that as well. Okay, so for now I'm just going to connect through the browser. So I'm going to click on connect here, and it's going to open up my server on the cloud. Okay, perfect. So this is our server. This is the Linux OS. It's the Amazon Linux 2023 OS that we can use. Okay, so I'm gonna show you some very simple commands on how to use Linux. Okay, so say you have your Windows laptop, right? Now, what is the first thing you do, or something that you want to do? You want to install a program, you want to create a file, you can you want to create a document or something like that, right? So for now, I'm going to show you how to create a file. So there's a command called touch. Okay, touch basically allows you to create a new file. Let's say touch, and we want to create a text file called demo. Okay, so I'm just going to call it touch demo.txt, and the file is created. Now you want to see if the file is created or not. So for that, there's a command called ls that's going to list all the files for you. Okay, now let's say I want to write something in the file. So I'm gonna write hello world. That's the most cliched thing you can get started with for your new projects. So I'm just gonna do a cat hello world, and then it's gonna put hello world into the demo.txt file. So I'm just gonna go ahead and oh, okay, I'm sorry. So it's cat, right? We don't want to use cat. Well, we are going to use echo. It's not cat, I'm sorry, it's echo. Okay, so it says so that means the hello world part is now in the file. Okay, so we're just gonna check again. The file is here, and now we want to see what's inside the file, right? So for that we are gonna use cat. So cat demo.txt, it will show us hello world. So that means our file has the text hello world. In the same way, you can create a Python file, you can create a Node file, JavaScript file, HTML file, CSS file, depending on your use case, and you can yeah, tinker around the software, and it's always going to be running. And if you want to access your server, you need a IP address, right? So when you click on here, it will show you all the information. So that's the public IPv4 address. Okay, so if you want to access it through the internet as a website, you want to set up a server onto, like, you want to set up a website using Node.js um, or a Next.js, and convert it to a web server. So when it is converted to a web server, you can just go to this website onto the browser, and you can access it through that as well. So that way it's always up and running. Okay, so that's about it for this video. We'll continue with Linux into our next video, and thank you so much for watching. We'll keep tech simple.